Hey, 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 good evening. How's everybody doing? I'm back. I'm back. It's good to be here. It's been a while, a few weeks, and I'm back. Okay, welcome. Today we're going to talk about a really phenomenal topic. Shouldn't my parents apologize to me? The last topic we talked about was why. I'm looking at my notes. Why and how to forgive my parents. Very difficult, especially if a lot of damage has been done. We feel slighted, we feel hurt by what has happened. So the question is, shouldn't my parents apologize to me? And how do I move forward if they choose not to? So it's hard. It's a lot to have to swallow. Okay. Meanwhile, if this is your first time here, my name is Karen Marinez. I'm an emotional wellness coach. I help the exhausted woman to get back on her feet, to get her energy back, to feel comfortable in her own skin so that she doesn't have to keep searching out there for what's really on the inside. Okay, and I'm an emotional wellness coach and I love working with people. So let's start with an honest question, one that many of us carry quietly and sometimes for decades. Shouldn't my parents apologize to me? If you've ever asked yourself that question, you're not alone. If you've ever waited, hoped, replayed conversations in your mind, imagined what it would feel like if you finally heard the words, "I'm so sorry," from your parents, this episode is for you. Because for many adult children, the apologize we long for never does come. Not because the pain wasn't real, not because what happened didn't matter, but because some parents are unable or unwilling to see the impact that they had on us, sadly. So today we're going to talk about why the desire for a parental apology is so powerful, what we're really waiting for underneath that apology, and how to move forward without betraying yourself, even if the apology never comes. It's not about excusing harm. It's about freeing your life from waiting. Because should your parent or parents apologize to you? Yes. That's the answer. Yes. But it doesn't always happen. And we don't want to stay stuck waiting and waiting month after month, year after year for them to apologize when they may be incapable or unwilling. And the other question is, what if your parents are deceased? They really can't do that. Does that mean that you're stuck and you can't heal and move on with your life? No, it does not mean that. As you come in, please jump in the chat. If this is your first time here, you click the subscribe button, wait about a minute, and then it'll allow you to get into the chat. Okay, okay. I have my dear Elvin in the back. Cindy, hey Cindy, Jonique, what? JoJo's in the house. Tiffany Brooks, hello, and my Carolyn. So good to have all of you here. It's a really, really good topic. Okay, so why the apology feels so necessary? Let's name this clearly. Okay, waiting or wanting an apology from your parent is not weakness. It's not immaturity. Some people say, "Well, girl, you what? You got to. That happened when you were 5 years old. You got to just get over that." Or your parent may say that. That happened so long ago. It's not immature on your part. It's not weakness. It's not being stuck in the past. It's human. We're human. Because when a parent apologizes, something very specific happens. Your pain is validated. Why do you want the apology? It's because you want them to acknowledge, validate what happened to you. So if they did apologize, your pain would be validated, your experience confirmed. Like, I didn't just make this stuff up. I didn't just dream this. This really happened. And it hurt me. It traumatized me. It changed my life forever. And the story in your body finally hears, I wasn't imagining it. Because some things that we've gone through are so horrific, we could think, maybe I did imagine that. It's so bad, right? So many adult children are not waiting for words, they're waiting for recognition. That's really what your body and mind wants. Recognition that this stuff really did happen and that your parents are acknowledging. Brooklyn, hey Alicia, you made it. Good to have you here. Welcome. And Audie's, hey Audie's, good to have you. So what you're often longing for is for the parent to say, I see how I hurt you. Can you imagine the impact that would have on you? I see how I hurt you. Or if they say, you know, what you felt made sense, or you didn't deserve that. Oh, right? What that would feel like to hear those words from your parent. But without that acknowledgement, it can feel like the wound never fully closes. You're working on it, you're trying to process, but it's still very much there. And here's the hard truth we don't talk about enough. Some parents cannot apologize without their entire self-image falling apart. To apologize for them would mean admitting that they failed, facing their own unresolved shame. I promise you they have it. Or letting go of the story that they did their best and therefore they caused you no harm. Those are the stories and things they put in their heads. And that would make it very difficult for them to apologize. For many parents, especially emotionally immature or traumatized ones, this is simply too threatening. I can't, they just don't go there. So instead of the apology, you know what you get? Minimizing it. It wasn't that bad. Defensiveness. Well, you don't know what I was going through at that time. Y'all were kids. You don't know what your father was putting me through. Denial. That just did not happen. Or silence. They just. And that hurts in a very specific way. Or some parents, you know, to deny it. They say, you know, I don't go back. I don't like going back in the past. Let's just stay in the present. Look at who I am to you today. And you're like, but I want you to acknowledge, right? Wow. It hurts. And again, we're human and we have to acknowledge that it hurts. So what's the hidden cost of waiting? It becomes costly. When we wait for an apology, we often don't realize that we've put our own healing on hold. So waiting sounds like this. Well, once they acknowledge what happened, then I can move on. Or if they just said sorry, I could finally let it go. Or I can't heal until they take full responsibility for what happened. But what's happening underneath is this. Your nervous system is still orienting toward your parent for resolution. You're looking to them to solve this, to fix this. And that's not your fault. It's conditioning. As children, repair, fixing comes from who? Your parent. And so we're still looking to them. And when we do that, we put ourselves in a child role. But everyone here is an adult. We don't want to do that. As adults, that pattern of looking to our parents to solve our issues, resolve, fix, can quietly keep us stuck. So if you have felt stuck in your healing of what happened, I would say, looking at not calling anyone out, but looking at the participants, probably the youngest person is like 30. So we've been dealing with this for at least 25 years and up. 30 years, 40 years, 45 years, 50 years, holding it, waiting, stewing, getting angry, and staying stuck. Because I can't heal until they acknowledge, until they apologize. So what does it look like? Waiting can turn into replaying the past over and over. Imagining confrontations. You imagine, you play it out in your mind. You get a delight of confronting your parent and telling them like it is. Feeling resentful when they don't change. You see them in their 60s, 70s, 80s, and they're still that same person. They don't change. And then even questioning your own reality, like, did that, was I just, like, did I make this stuff up? I've had people that I've known, some clients, some just friends, that so this one in particular, she was the older sister. And when she would talk to her younger siblings about this, like years ago, the stuff that was going on, they were like, what? I don't remember that. So she was like, well, maybe either it was just me, or did I make it up? Now that the younger siblings are more developed and they're older and they're coming into their own, it's like, oh no, yeah, that did happen. She's like, finally, y'all are acknowledging. Some people block things out, but we could even question our own reality, waiting for them to apologize, staying stuck. And the problem with that is, do you really want to stay stuck? Do you not ever want to heal it, let it go, forgive your parents, and move on with your life? And you notice I didn't say heal it, forgive your parents, and let go and move on with your life, or forgive your parents, heal it. No. Forgive your parents, let it go. No. You have to heal it. And in order to heal, if your parent is not willing to apologize, we have to just let them stay stuck there. But it's like, okay, it causes anger. It's hurtful. Because you're my mother, you're my father. You you're the reason I'm on this earth. Wouldn't you want to free me from this? Wouldn't you want to? But again, it's mommy and daddy, but they have their own issues. They're stuck in their own thing. They can't, they can't, for whatever the reasons may be. It could be pride, but the admission of failure, ooh, they can't. They just, some do. And I applaud those parents, because it's not easy. Because you're not saying that they failed completely. Everybody here is, well, working, we're good citizens. We're working, we're good people. We handle our business. We have our issues, but like, we can acknowledge, thank you, y'all did a good job with that. But this thing that happened, or this thing happened to me, and because I didn't trust you, I couldn't even come to you with it, because I didn't know how you would handle it. So I kept this abuse to myself for years, right? Let's let them stay stuck, but we don't want to stay stuck. Okay. So if we don't, slowly, without meaning to, your parent is still, you're allowing your parent to exercise power over your emotional freedom. And this is about you, not them. But I want them. I understand that. And you're hurt and you're human. So you're entitled to feel hurt. You're entitled to feel betrayed, let down. It's a total injustice. Because if they would just apologize, it would make the process easier. I get it. However, if they're determined not to give us that, apology. What are we going to do? But some people say, but if I move on without an apology, am I minimizing what happened? If I heal, does that mean it wasn't that bad? Let me know in the chat if that's something that has gone through your mind. If they don't apologize and I move on and I process, heal, forgive them, and move on, does that mean that what happened, I'm minimizing my experience? Am I letting them off the hook too easy? The answer is no. Healing, if you're taking notes, write this down, or just remember that healing does not mean erasing truth. That's not what it means. It means you stop bleeding while carrying that truth. You don't have to bleed all over the place. And how does what happened to you show up? Do you explode and vomit on other people emotionally, verbally? You have serious triggers that either shut you all the way down or just light you up and you go in. Are you very judgmental, critical? Are you very rigid? There's no wiggle room. It has to be this way. What you went through shows up and you're bleeding all over the place. Let's stop the bleeding. Let's heal it. If I get cut on my arm and it's bleeding and I go to the emergency room, they give me the stitches, my dress is all right damaged. I come home and just throw it away. But that scar will, the thing will heal. They'll take out the stitches maybe, or now I think now they have the ones that just kind of melt away or you know what I'm talking about. I can't think of the word, disappear. But the scar, like this, I have a little scar on my arm from when I fell as a little girl. Our scars are still there, but you have to look for it, and I don't feel anything. It doesn't hurt in any way. And I just had to think, well, I think I fell off a bike. I don't even really remember, but I see the mark is still there. You understand what I'm saying? But it's not bleeding. It stopped bleeding 30 something years ago. All right. So healing does not mean erasing the truth. If anyone is new in here, if you want and you have WhatsApp, you can get into my WhatsApp chat and find out what's going on with me when I'm taking breaks, what my next topic is going to be on YouTube, when I'm giving the next course. The link is in the chat. Feel free to join in. We'd love to have you. Okay, so we want to work towards healing. Let's go a little deeper. Most people think that they want an apology, but I'm going to tell you what you really want. It's one or more of these, and I'd like for you to put it in the chat if you can identify what is it you really want. Is it to feel seen, to feel believed, to feel innocent instead of blamed, to feel worthy of care, to be released from self-doubt? That's deep. I'm going to say it again. Do you feel that you would like to be seen, believed, innocent instead of blamed, worthy of care, or released from self-doubt? And here's the reframe that changes everything. I want you to think about that. If you need me to say it again, I'll say it in the chat and I'll repeat it again, because I really want you to figure out what is it that I really want. What's underneath, because there's always stuff underneath that we stuff down. And you need to know, what is it that I really want? If your parent is unable to give you these things, you're still allowed to receive them elsewhere. This is a liberating point, especially from yourself. Please repeat. Okay, here we go. Do you want to feel seen? Do you want to feel believed? You want to feel innocent instead of blamed? You want to feel worthy of care? And the fifth one is to feel released from self-doubt. So we think we want an apology from our parents, but a lot of times what we truly want is one or more of these things. And if you can't figure it out right now, I would love for you to continue to think about it after we get off here. Okay? Because this is all our self-care, our working on ourselves. But when we reframe it, it changes everything. And I'll repeat that. If your parent is unable to give you these things that you feel worthy of care, that you release from self-doubt, it wasn't your fault. I believe you. I see you. You're innocent. I'm so sorry. If they're not able to do that, you're still allowed to receive those things elsewhere, especially from yourself. Has that ever happened to you? It has happened to me. I was talking to my husband about it. Somebody says, hi, hey there, Lily, worthy of care and heard. Yeah. So I was talking to my husband the other day because we were talking about bitterness, and I've been bitter before. It's a horrible feeling. It was bad. I was going through something, and I was wanting and almost demanding attention about this situation I was going through from these particular people. And I wasn't getting what I wanted, and it made me more and more. They weren't giving me what I wanted. Validation, feeling seen. I just wanted a thumbs up, like they didn't have to say anything to me, just like, like, you're doing it. You're still keeping your head above water. Keep it up. I just wanted even a thumbs up, and I never got it. Oh, I think that's a horrible thing to feel unseen, unheard. They're not acknowledging you. This wasn't in my family. It was something going on in my family, but that's what I felt. But when I stepped back, maybe like 3, 4, 5, 6 months later, I don't know how long it took me to see, Karen, these people aren't giving it to you, but these people are. It was some older sisters in my congregation. There they were. Oh, beautiful. And they were giving me more than what I was asking. They didn't just give me a thumbs up. They were giving me the hugs and baby girl and the listen to me. And if you ever need, and the come over, I'll cook for you. All the things. Like they went beyond what I just wait from these three. I just wanted a thumbs up. But these, they were all, they hovered. And it took me months to open my eyes and say, oh, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. But not from the ones I want. Now I could have stayed stuck on, but I want it from them. But I really realized, oh, and I was so grateful then. Like wow. So the things that we want from our parents, we don't necessarily have that. Like Lily says, worthy of care and being heard. If your parents refuse to or unable to, and they could be alive and unable, or they could be deceased and they are literally unable to do it, right? Or estranged. We can get these things from elsewhere, from other people, but especially from ourselves, because what does that do? It puts us in the control. It gives us back our control over our lives, not depending on this one and that one to give to us. I can give it to myself. I am capable of giving these things to myself. So there's where the work shifts. Can you see the shift from waiting? And not just waiting, but waiting, right? With anger, bitterness, or extreme sadness. Like, why can't they just acknowledge what happened? We go from waiting, girl, to reclaiming. You start asking, what did I need to hear that I never heard? What truth have I been waiting for someone else to speak? What truth have I been waiting for someone else to speak? Maybe it's, I saw you go through that, and it had to be tough. You were only 5, you were only 7, you were only 10. And what does my inner child still need validated? What happened that no one has ever acknowledged or validated, and you just wanted it validated? Because the most powerful apology is not the one they never gave or they never give. It's the one that finally lands inside you, that you can say to yourself, I am so sorry you had to go through that. But we grown now, it's not happening again. You want to be seen? I see you. You want to be heard? Come on. You want to play? What do you want today? You want to go outside and play? I'm taking you to the park. Like, this is a conversation with my inner child, with myself. Let's go. You need some loving care? Okay, we're going to take the day off. I had all these commitments. Well, I have to go to work. I was going to meet up with this one and that one. No. We're going to clear the calendar. We're just going to go home, take a warm bath, sit on the couch, and watch a good movie. You just need time. Whatever the thing, you are an adult now and you can give it to yourself. So this is why it's so important. I want an apology. And do you deserve an apology? Yes, you do. We do. But we can't stomp and have a tantrum and stay stuck if the person or the people refuse or can't or unable. So we make a choice. Whatever I needed then and what I need now, I'm going to give it to myself. Now, does that mean I want a half gallon of ice cream? I'm gonna give it to myself. We want to care for ourselves. Everything with balance, right? That's not necessarily healthy. But if you want ice cream, take the little girl out to Baskin Robbins, get her some ice cream or whatever brand she wants. Get it. Not every night, but get it for her. Treat her the way she deserves to be treated. And when I say her, I'm talking about it's the little girl inside you that is crying, begging to be seen, heard, validated, reassured, comforted. She's begging to feel worthy, to be seen. And even though we want our parents to give it to us, wanted and still want them to do it, a lot of times they're just not able because they haven't done it for themselves. They never got the apology from their parents. They really, truly, we have to believe they did the best they could with what they had. And that if they knew better, they would do better. But they still don't know better. Or their pride, they can't admit it. And it's interesting. I know parents that will admit it to other people. They'll tell other parents, look, I wish I had done this and this, but they never tell the child, I'm so sorry I didn't do that. I recognize it now in my old age. And boy, would your life have been different had I done it. Please accept my apology. Too prideful. What a waste. It's sad. Because what a gift they could be given to their children. But we're adults now. So before we talk about moving on, someone else says, well, I just want to be seen. Yeah, that's what we deserve. The door opens, you walk through the door. The parents are there, the caregivers. They should immediately light up when they see us. That's what a child deserves when they walk through the door. A baby deserves to see a mother or a dad looking down on them just with such love and affection. That's our God-given right. That's our birthright. Mm-hmm. That's what we deserve, and we know it, but we don't get that. Ooh, it hurts, it stings. We feel something's wrong with us, and then we walk around with low self-esteem for the rest of our lives. But we want to stop that. We want to feel good about ourselves, right? Okay, so before we talk about moving on, we have to talk about the grief. I have met with people, I have coached people that say, I'm good. I moved on. I got over that years ago. I forgave my mom. But she's still very angry. She's full of anxiety. She can't hardly focus. We're on the call and she's doing stuff over here. I'm like, are you writing? What's going on over there? No, I'm just doodling. She can't even, because the anxiety is at such a high level, because she didn't grieve what she never had. We're not grieving what happened. These are the things you're grieving. The parent you needed but you didn't have. The repair that never came. The moment of justice that you hoped for that never happened. That's what you're grieving. And the grief is quiet, it's complicated. It could come with thoughts like, they'll never understand me. They'll die without ever acknowledging it. I'll never get that moment. But grief doesn't mean that you're stuck, but it's a necessary part of the process. We can't skip it. I forgive them. I'm good. All is well. It's not all well. You know that deep down. Let's keep it real. Okay. So grief doesn't mean you're stuck. It means you're honest. And let's just talk about it. You walk in a room, or daddy comes home and you go to reach out, run, and he just kind of shoves you to the side or just looks at you like, what? That hurts. And it wasn't just that day because he had a bad day. This is through your whole life. That's extremely sad. That's something to agree. But sometimes, yeah, but he was good. But yeah, no one is all bad. We're not saying that he's a horrible person, but that part of being affectionate with his daughter was seriously missing. And what an effect it had on your life. We got to stop and take some breaths. We have to take some time to grieve that. What you never had that you knew you deserved, that was your birthright. It's like you hear of a baby being found in a dumpster, 3 days old. You're like, oh, your heart goes out. You don't even know the baby. You don't know the circle, but just like, who could do that to a baby? Right? There's obviously something wrong, right? Well, it's the same thing. A little girl runs to her daddy, like there's no better sensation for him, shouldn't be, than him or her, my baby. How you doing, baby girl? He should pick her up. The whole thing. Kiss, kiss, hug, sit on my lap. How was your day? Eye contact, all the things that you know that you deserve. But when it doesn't happen day after day, now you're 5, now you're 7, now you're 10, now you're 15, and something's wrong. And that has to be grieved. You can't just skip over that step. It has to be grieved. So let yourself say it. This hurts. I deserved better. I wish it had been different. It's nothing wrong with saying those things because it's the truth, right? Yeah. Whatever the circumstance, I just named one, but whatever the situation, you deserved better. You wish it had been different, of course. And probably when they look back, if they ever allowed themselves to, they would wish it had been better, if they even know the effect that it had. Because it's like, look, I provided, I was home every night, I was loyal to your mom. What are you complaining about? I never hit you, I never what's but that part of it was missing. That part of the puzzle. So important, affection from a parent. Oh. So you don't have to forgive, you don't have to reconcile, you don't have to make peace yet. You only have to stop pretending that it didn't matter. Don't hit it or squash it or no, I'm good. No, it wasn't that bad. Look, keep it real. Can we be honest? Don't pretend that it didn't happen or that it didn't matter. It did happen. It does matter. It affected you even to this day. Let's be honest, at least with ourselves. They may not want to acknowledge it. We got to acknowledge it. And we have to start the grieving process. It's very important. But you can't grieve something that you're not acknowledging. Okay. Any questions or thoughts about that? About the grief process? It's deep. But some of this stuff you just want to sit and weep for days about it. So how do we move on without the apology? Well, moving on does not mean This is what it does not mean: forgetting, excusing, rewriting history, pretending the wound didn't exist. Doesn't mean that. Moving on means you no longer organize your life around someone else's emotional limitations, because that's what you learn to do. Daddy doesn't acknowledge me, so I just sit quietly in the corner. Stuff breaks out, I just pretend I'm not here. I don't have an opinion. I just quiet down. Maybe they'll not even realize that I'm here. Or I go hide. Or whatever the thing. We all have coping mechanisms, but you don't have to do that anymore. You're an adult. You're in control. You may not feel like you are in control, but you are. We're taking control, pulling in the reins. Okay? So here are a few grounding truths. Number one, your experience is valid even if it is never acknowledged by someone else. Okay? Reality does not require agreement. You may even tell your parent what happened, and they, no, it couldn't have been that bad. This is my reality. I don't need you to agree with me. I'm telling you what happened. So even if no one acknowledges, you talk to your siblings, they're like, I don't remember that. Maybe they blocked it. That's their coping mechanism. They don't remember because they literally blocked it out of their mind just to be able to survive. Everybody learns a way to survive. Your experience is valid because you know what happened and you're acknowledging that it happened. Okay? Another truth: closure is something you create. Because that's what I said, I want closure. Yeah, it's not something you receive, because we're looking for closure. If mommy and daddy apologize to me, now I can just close this out. No. When you wait for that apology, you keep the door open. You never get closure. Closure is something you create. Again, it puts you in the driver's seat. You are in control of this whole situation. You have never felt in control, but right now you can claim it now and say, I am in control from now on. Okay. You can also, number three, you can release the need for an apology without releasing accountability. So just because you hold your parents accountable, you will still hold them accountable. It doesn't mean that you can hold them accountable. You can hold them accountable and you can still release the need for an apology. I don't need it. If they want to give it, fine, but it's not going to affect or accelerate my healing because I'm working on my own. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Some technical difficulties. Talk about being seen, right? Okay. Um, Write it and then hear it. Read it to yourself out loud. And let the words be exactly what you feel you need to hear. Let your body feel what it would have felt like had your parents said it. And then remind yourself, I can give myself what they couldn't give to me. It's all right. Okay. I can give myself what they could not give to me. And that's not denial. It's reclaiming what's yours. Your life, your freedom. Oh, your liberty. Moving on. I'm in control of closing this thing up. I'm in control of how long I'm going to allow myself to grieve. What could have been. How sad that I went through that. No child should have had to go through it, and I did it. But look at me now. right? But grieve it. Give yourself the time to grieve. I'm going to do another video on how to grieve because you said, but I have to work. I have kids. I have, I have a life. I can't be laid out. Sometimes we think of grieving as laid out, depressed for days and weeks. That's not what grieving necessarily is. Okay, so I'm going to do a video on that too. So I leave you with a few questions to sit with. What am I afraid would happen if I stopped waiting for an apology? What truth do I already know that I'm waiting for someone else to confirm? I like that one. That's my favorite. And then how has waiting kept me tied to pain longer than necessary? And what would freedom look like if I gave myself permission to move forward? Wow, freedom, liberty. And maybe the most important one is, what would it mean to choose myself even without their repair? Yeah. We don't need acknowledgement from anyone outside of us in order to have closure, to grieve, have closure, forgive, and move on and have freedom. The scar is there forever, but we're not bleeding. Let's stop the bleeding. And I want you to pay attention to yourself. What are your triggers and how do you respond when you're triggered? Do you bawl and cry? Do you get depressed and shut down for days? Do you isolate? Do you go off and tell everybody off? Are you flippant, quick with the mouth? Have you lost relationships because of these triggers and how you respond to the triggers? It's all a matter of how we learn to survive. Do you squeeze and squash everything down so you don't feel? Do you ignore yourself? You don't care for yourself well. You don't eat. You go the whole day without eating. Right? So we want to choose ourselves. We want to care for ourselves, even though they don't acknowledge, but we don't need that. We don't need them to apologize. And we can write the apology ourselves, read it to ourselves, feel like, wow, if my mom had said that to me, oh, how beautiful that would be. But I'll keep hope alive. But even if I don't get it, I know what happened to me. Acknowledge it yourself. Stop playing the games like, well, minimizing. Well, maybe it didn't happen. No. Be honest with yourself. Okay, you deserve that. So if you're listening to this and you're realizing, yeah, my parents, they're never going to apologize. I want you to hear this clearly. That's heartbreaking, especially if they're alive and they're well enough and they're in their right mind. You know, they don't have dementia or Alzheimer's or anything. It's heartbreaking, but it's not the end of your healing. You can honor your truth. You can honor your pain. You can still choose peace with yourself, even with them, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve it. Why stay stuck in not peace, unpeace, I don't know what the word, not being in peace, and give them the control to let you live the rest of your life like this? That's not fair to you. You don't deserve that. You deserve peace. Elvin says, please hit the like button. Yeah, thank you, Elvin. You're allowed to stop waiting. You are allowed to move on. You're allowed to carry your story because it's your story. It's never going to go away. That's yours. But without carrying the burden of someone else's limitations, they are emotionally incapable of acknowledging and honoring what happened to you and apologizing for the part that they played in it. It's okay. I'm going to carry my story, but I'm not going to carry their story on top of my story. And I'm not going to be burdened by my story. It happened to me. I've seen the effects of it. I'm grieving. I'm processing this thing, and I'm going to have freedom from it, from the bleeding. We will always have the scar, but the bleeding. Be gentle with yourself as this starts to land and you start to think about it. Some people prefer not even, but we got to go back. Oh, as much as it hurts, we have to go back to heal it. We got to look at it and listen. How dare you ask your parent to acknowledge it if you don't even want to acknowledge it? You want them to look back, but no, I don't want to think about it. No, that's not fair either. What you're asking of them, you have to do it too. You have to acknowledge that's yours. You have to acknowledge what happened. Be truthful with yourself. Please be honest. Don't downplay it. But grieve it. And grieve what happened, but grieve the fact that your parents never acknowledged it and gave you the support and love that you needed, made you feel seen and heard. And all right, I got you. We're in this together. Come on, what can I do? And heal you, bandage you. A child falls, they may not even cry until they see their mother. And then they start crying because they want her to, baby, what happened? Oh, come over here. Oh. And if it's a scrape or something, let's put some peroxide, let's clean it up, let's get the Band-Aid, the cutesy Band-Aid. Okay, we're gonna put it on. And we're being rocked and held. That's what we want. But if it didn't happen, we have to acknowledge that and grieve that what happened was bad enough, but what was worse was that we didn't get the acknowledgement and the love and the attention that we deserved. Okay, you didn't imagine what happened. It mattered. It matters. And you get to be free. You get to grieve this thing and have closure. Should your parents apologize to you? Definitely yes. You deserve that. But if they can't, won't, or unwilling, it's all right. I got this. I can do it. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you feel more confident about being able to move on and heal despite your parent not apologizing. Can I get a thumbs up in the chat? If what we talked about tonight, you come away from this saying, yeah, I see that I need to take the bull by the horn and take control of my own life and stop waiting on these people. I can. All right, we're getting some of Pam. Hey, we're getting some thumbs up. Nice. Is it worth it? Yes. Is it work? Yes. Is it hard to grieve and acknowledge? Yes. But we can do it. All right, Lily says yes. Yeah. All right. So the process continues. It continues. If you have any questions, offshoots of this topic, send me an email at karenmcoach@gmail.com because I'll do more lives on the topic. Okay, because this is a very deep topic. Tiffany says yes. All right, I'm getting a thumbs up that you see it's possible. And we have to put in the work. But are we worth it? Oh, yeah, definitely. Cynthia says yes. Nice. I love you guys so much. I appreciate you for being here. If there's anyone you know that you think could really benefit from this, please send them the link. This stays on YouTube. Send them the link so they can benefit from it too. Join our community. Join the WhatsApp group. Let's keep growing together. Even the channel, we're almost at 3,000. We're looking forward to our 3,000 subscribers, but even more importantly, the emotional healing and the wellness and the emotional well-being that happens when you come here. All right. So have a good night, rest, journal a lot, as much as you can. And if you have any questions, please send them to me at karenmcoach@gmail.com so that I can work on those and answer them in the next few videos. Okay. Be well, Big hugs.
Mm.
Keep hugging on yourself too. We can do that too. They don't want to hug us. It's all right. I give myself a hug. That's right. I'm in control. Lily says, thanks so much. It's a privilege and a pleasure. Thank you for being here. Mwah. I'll see y'all next week. Same place, same time. Bye.